Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Shield Podcast. I'm your host, Sonic Rob, with my co-host Topdawg, and the first time we have a guest, my good buddy David, which
Yo.
I asked to join the podcast because we've been looking for a third person. But yeah, here he is. Say hi, David.
Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? My name is David, also known as David Adventurous, VA on Instagram. And what's up? How y'all doing?
Okay, I've been doing all right, but today's topic, which is something that me and David are going to be enjoying, is basically Sonic the Hedgehog, which let's be honest, y'all already know about me loving Sonic. Okay,
man.
So I want to start us off with this, like a big debate, a big one. Okay,
all right, sweet.
So let's start off with this one. So to the Sonic fans out there, and to you two, how were you introduced to Sonic? And how were you introduced? You guys go first. I'll answer after you guys.
I'll go first. For me, back when I was a kid, I was born in 2001, right? We got a GameCube when it was, basically one of the newest consoles of its era, before the Wii and all the other stuff. And there was a collection of Sonic games known as the Sonic the Hedgehog Classic Collection. So my parents bought that, and I played it, and I was going to be in Sonic the Hedgehog at all, and until after that. And then after that, there used to be this old store known as Blockbuster, who then also had a bunch of games.
Oh, I loved Blockbuster as a kid.
I know, right? No, right? Oh, dude, and then after that, I went to Blockbuster, and they had Sonic games there too. They had Sonic Hero, Shadow the Hedgehog. They had Sonic 06. So what I did was I grabbed Sonic Hero, and I played that game. And even though it was not the best, and because of that, I actually fell in love with Sonic the Hedgehog. I then later on got Colors, Sonic Generation, Sonic World, Sonic Forces, the newest Sonic racing game, Sonic Frontiers. And to this very day, I never stop playing the games. And not only that, but I also even have 3 of the movies that officially came out by Paramount Plus. And all I gotta say is, Paramount Plus, if you ever see this, keep doing what you're doing. And it's because, bro, the way you make the Sonic movies is way more better. And it's you understand us fans inside and out. And that's what we love to see, especially when it's when it's involved in the movie, where all of our hype and all of our ideas, all of our basically what made us fans are put in the movie to create a love it. So keep on doing what you do.
I see. Well, okay. Well, Topdawg, do you have a story to tell, or not really at all?
I start listening to I think what bad in that I was in the apartment. I think I do remember, but it was I remember guys that click the process of Sonic EXE.
You mean Sonic EXE? Yeah. What about him?
First watching him, I not know what the fuck it dude name. It's a song.
That's Sonic.exe, but yeah, keep going.
Song. A couple of years I started listening to that shit. I watching the Sonic X one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I started watching it in the middle of the night. I watched it at a fucking sundown in my house, and I just go up. I do it.
Damn.
I do, and trust me, I stopped watching.
Okay, so basically you were introduced to Sonic due to the Sonic creepypasta stuff. That's both either pretty sad or either horrifying as a kid. Because imagine that's your first impression. It's because of Sonic.exe.
I was introduced to Sonic EXE a long time ago too, but in my opinion, I didn't really think him to be all that scary. I thought it was just still fun for an idea of there to be a scary version of the Hedgehog that preys on victims instead of just him being like Sonic always is. This.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, you already done? Okay, I was gonna say, like, whenever I first saw Sonic EXE, I always thought he was just a standard Sonic. I was like, that's basically like to me, that was like, that's literally Satan using Sonic's likeness. But the thing is, it's covered in blood, so that's why it looks like that. It's basically him using his likeness. Like it's like Homelander from The Boys. It's a hero, like it's a villain disguised as a hero, basically.
No, it's not. No, it's saying make Sonic his bitch.
Oh, I get it. Okay, but seriously, okay. Here's the story of how I got introduced to Sonic, and it's actually something that almost no. Actually, I'll explain. So when I was around first grade, this is basically when it was just first grade. iPads kind of were a bit meh or new back then. Let's just say my younger cousin was playing Sonic 4 Episode 2 on the iPad, and I was looking. I was like, "What is that?" And it was like, "Oh, this is Sonic." I was like, when I first saw it, like the gameplay, I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." And then I was like, "Can I please have a try?" It was like, "Sure." And that's the first Sonic game I've ever played. Was a fucking mobile game about Sonic and Tails just running around, fighting Metal Sonic, going on the Death Day, and then just doing some wacky crap. Like turn into a ball or fly around.
I still can't believe that game is canon to the entire like Sonic universe.
I mean, I will say this. And then after I discovered Sonic on the iPad, I got that exact game on my my parents' iPad, and then after that, I saw this one YouTuber. I forgot his name, but I know his theme song has to do with Sonic in the Secret Rings, and he played Sonic Unleashed, and that's when I was introduced to peak fiction.
Oh, dude, Sonic Unleashed. I forgot.
Sonic Unleashed to me. Okay, sorry. Let me explain. I'm gonna say a couple things real quick. I don't want to be rude. I'll say this: Sonic 4. I understand the criticisms. I played both games. I will say Sonic Episode 2, like Sonic 4 Episode 2, is a lot better than the first one, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just to me, it's just some game you can play on the iPad. It's nothing too generic. I think of it as a mobile game, and you have low expectations of it. It's not like a main 3D line Sonic game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And then Sonic Unleashed. Okay, I know when I was a kid, I had a Wii, and then the first game my parents got me was Sonic Colors. But to me, Sonic Unleashed is what solidified my love for Sonic. That's the game that like truly got me into the series. And honestly, I originally played the Wii version, but my uncle got the PS3 version because I was like, "Why did the games lie?" And then he was like, "Oh, you got the Wii version. Let me get you the good one." And I got the good one. So yeah, I played both versions. I definitely would say the PS3 is better.
Is your grandpa?
And then when I was a kid, I really loved the Werehog stages the most. And I'm gonna say this. My whole childhood, I never once interacted with the Sonic community. I never even knew about it. I was just my own. I was my own person, liking what I liked without no one judging me, basically. Honestly, I think it humbled me a lot growing up because I was the only kid who liked Sonic. And to this day, to my IRL friends listening to this podcast, nobody gives a shit about Sonic besides me. Nobody.
Bro, what about me? I'm here.
I'm talking about my IRL friends. I'm talking about like for many years that's been the case. Like I never interacted with the Sonic community. I've never interacted with other Sonic fans my entire childhood. And honestly, kind of glad about it because I learned that other people can be friends with me without liking Sonic. So I think that humbled me a lot growing up. Like for example, a lot of my friends are because of Marvel, with like the peak of the MCU, basically.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
You know the MCU when it reaches absolute peak.
Like the Infinity War or the Endgame. Oh yeah, dude.
Civil War was awesome due to Spider-Man being featured in that movie. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my introduction to Sonic the Hedgehog, was just a mobile game, and then Sonic Colors, and then and then
Sonic Unleashed.
Exactly. The Werehog stages were my personal favorite as a kid. I preferred it more than the fucking day stages. That's how much I loved the Werehog stages. And yes, playing them now, I do understand the complaint about them being too long. Yes, I wish they were a little bit shorter, but as a kid, those were an absolute treat to play. Because back then I was obsessed with games like Mortal Kombat, the Hulk, and it's like it basically had every character mixed into one, and it was like the best of both worlds. Like the stretchy powers, like get over here, like Scorpion, the bulkiness of the Hulk, and then the absolute savage of Wolverine. Except he doesn't get the claws coming out of his knuckles; it's just his fingernails.
Ugh, that's no.
I low-key want to see like Sonic with Wolverine claws, and no, I do not count Sonic Prime for doing that. I want to see the actual animated claws coming out of Sonic's arms, hands.
I like Sonic Prime, but like they had a lot of like missed opportunities with that show. You know what I'm saying?
The other multiverse, I can agree with.
Yeah, like how you gonna call it Sonic Prime, and yet there's like other multiverses you can like, you know, like visit, you know?
Yeah, there's like a lot of same universes.
Yeah. And like they could have like done a lot more with the characters and with the story, but instead they tried to make it more of like a kid's show. And I think that's what kind of like made it its downfall. It's like the same with like Sonic Boom, for example. You know what I'm saying? Because like Sonic Boom, I'm not gonna lie.
Was actually good. Like, the show's good. The games suck, yes, but the show is actually good.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about like the games though. The games, yeah, absolutely suck. Than even Sonic Forces, in my opinion. But like the shows itself, in my opinion, like I think that's kind of the reason why the show itself kind of like failed in a way, is because they tried to make it more for kids and just tried to just make up whatever and then just put it together, than instead of like actually like coming together to create a good story for it and to make the characters more interesting in the Boom era forms that they were portrayed as. In my opinion, I always thought of it like, Sonic Boom was like Sonic in the future. Like, you know, like how like future Gohan and future Trunks, like something like that.
Talking about.
Yeah, like something like that. Where it's a different timeline, but it's in the future where Sonic and the others have gotten older. And not only that, older. Thing has gotten like back then in prehistoric day in a way, you know what I'm saying? Where there's like less technology. Yeah. I see what you're talking about. And I still like that. And I think that would still be a pretty cool idea to see in the future. But as long as they made it more interesting, like actually make a good coherent story with great character development and a great story, I kid you not, it'd be better. So like, I hope one day we get to see it again.
I see. Hey, Top, did you have anything to say or no?
Sega said, fuck those kids, put blood on that.
What?
He's basically saying F the kids for like making Sonic 2 family friendly.
Okay, Sonic 2 family friendly?
I actually have a couple hot takes I would love to say about Sonic. One is like, I personally feel like Sonic Unleashed is the prime example of what the other Sonic games should be in terms of the tone and like the gameplay itself. And I'm not talking like about Sonic. I'm talking. Okay, let me explain. So basically, I'm using the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as an example. Now we all know that movie kind of is not the best Spider-Man movie, but what I can say is that movie had sauce. Like it had something going for it with the action scenes. Let's be honest. Like, you can't lie. The action scenes was like so fluid, and it reminded me like, what if Sonic was exactly like that? What if it was so fluid with the action and the speed? It's like, I could just imagine how much fun it would be. And then, in terms of the tone, I would love to see more like Sonic Unleashed, where it's mature, it's grounded, and it's lighthearted. That's exactly what I want to see more of Sonic, not the kid tone of like anything else like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to fix that a little bit. But for example, Shadow Generation. Right? Sure, we didn't see a lot of blood.
I would give them credit for Shadow Generation. Like they actually tried to going back to the grounded, mature tone, but the writing kind of wasn't the best for me, in my opinion.
I actually still thought like Shadow Generation was really good. In fact, it's been a while since we had any games play with Shadow. I mean, we don't even dare want to like involve Sonic Forces because we already know how that went. Like Shadow Generations, in my opinion, it just like it's like we hadn't had a good Shadow game in a very long time. I mean, sure, game called Shadow the Hedgehog back in the day. Reviews, but in my opinion, it was like they were trying to do something new with not just Sonic, with the other characters. But then as soon as it failed, it's like they went back to square one. Is like, okay, let's not focus on the other characters. Let's just focus on Sonic and only Sonic. And then years later, the Shadow movie, right? Like the third Sonic movie announced. Yeah, the third Sonic movie was announced, and Shadow the Hedgehog was going to be a part of it. It's like they kept wanting to change it up to be like, let's go back to what we used to do back then, but this time try our best to see if we can get it right. And in my opinion, we love Shadow Generations.
Okay, bro, can I say something about Shadow Generations?
What?
In terms of like the tone, Shadow Generations was the absolute closest to being a great game. Like, to me, I hold Sonic Unleashed really high up in every Sonic game. I'm sorry, but it's better than Adventure 2. It's better than any Sonic game that came before. Like, it is a prime example of what a Sonic game should be in terms of story, gameplay, and everything.
You hear that, Sega?
Visual graphics.
You hear that, Sega? Sonic 06 should have been just like Sonic Unleashed, but you missed that opportunity.
Sonic 06... Okay, I'll say this. Sonic 06 wasn't a terrible game, and the story had some good ideas, but the gameplay, we can agree, sucks. And I'm not really a big fan of the
gameplay
designs.
The gameplay sucked way worse than Sonic Hero, Shadow the Hedgehog, and the Wii/PS2 version of Unleashed. It sucks worse than that. Like, no joke.
I've never played 06, and I personally do not want to think about trying it. But let me say a couple things. It's like I hold Unleashed a very high up. Like, I want Sonic, like other Sonic games, to have like the sauce to it. Like, I want it to feel fluid. Like the boost formula, sure, you can keep that, but I want it to feel fluid. Like, you can run on walls, you can bounce on enemies, you can just keep your momentum. It encourages you to go faster and to be more creative with like how you traverse the world. I want more of that. That's the kind of stuff that I remember watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I'm like, actually, best example is Insomniac Spider-Man, the PS5 Spider-Man games. I want Sonic to be more like that, where like it's so fluid that the cutscenes does an amazing transition to the gameplay. I want to see that with Sonic. I feel like it could benefit if Insomniac worked on a Sonic game, in my opinion. That would be awesome.
For sure. But
the fluid, the budget, yes, everything would just be. It could be just as great as Unleashed, in my opinion, if that ever happened. That's pretty cool. Big hot take.
A pretty cool idea, yes, but we already know for a fact they're just going to continue to stick with 4G or like what's it called, engine, like 4 engine.
Oh no,
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, they're basically going to.
No.
Yeah, I dare. I just didn't.
Sorry about that, bud.
Hello.
I know. Go right ahead.
Hold on. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So, what have you been, Topdawg? Like, what do you think about all of this?
It depends.
I see. I mean, that's just my personal opinion with Sonic. Is that I just want more of Sonic. I expect more from him. Like, I genuinely feel like he has potential to be great. And it's like they're not really living up to that potential.
I want to see Maria die in Sonic 3 movie. They got shot in the face.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was personally not a fan of the fucking backstory of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, like the movie. I was not a fan of the changes they made with Shadow. Like, Maria wasn't sick. They're not in a space station. Shadow's from a meteor and not created by Gerald Robotnik. They kind of took away what made Shadow special. It's like, he wasn't created to be a weapon. He was created to be a cure for Maria. That's the sole reason why he was created in the first place.
Yeah, but let's think of it this way.
The devil, basically.
Yeah, but let's think of it this way, right? J.K. Rowling, for example, right? She first made the books before the movies were ever thought up. But but when the movies came out, it had similarities, a lot of similarities books, but it was also having its own thing, What made the Harry Potter movies really unique and really special to almost everybody's hearts, and myself, who been basically a fan of Harry Potter for the past several years, ever since I started watching them, thanks to my uncle buying me them for Christmas. And to this very day, I still think, even though the movies were not like completely like an adaptation of the books, they still were like the best movies out there, like one of the best movies out there. So I could say that's what they usually do when it comes to like games and adapting a game into a movie. Same thing with like a book into a movie or a series. They usually change. They usually make changes to make the story more unique in its own way. Like, for example, like with Maria, obviously we didn't want to see real life Maria actually get shot in like the heart and like blood everywhere.
David, you don't understand. People are freaking hyping up with the Maria kill. They were hyping it up. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to say this. This is a genuine hot take. But when I first saw Sonic like 3 in theaters and Maria like, died on screen, I was like, I truly wasn't sad at all. I was like, meh. I think it's because we barely get to see her with Shadow. I feel a little bit more screen time would benefit it, but it's like there wasn't really an impact, in my opinion. The only thing I would say is like Shadow's like, or maybe we're just numb to it. We just know that that's canon.
I feel like later down the line we might see more of her. I mean, like, for example, throughout most of the Sonic games, Shadow does have, in a way, PSD, right? Where he does see like images of Maria. Like, for example, in the Sonic X series, during some scenes, during some scenes, even after the whole Adventure 2 story that they made for the anime, right? He would still see her in some way, shape, or form, either through some like PTSD or some stuff like that. And I feel like we could still see more of the actress who plays Maria like later in the future, like maybe in like the fifth Sonic movie, or they might as well make a Shadow series with him and her in it, or she would like show up in dreams, or he would have PTSD and she would start showing up in like his mind. You know what I'm saying? And if they do like that, that would even be just as a great idea as the idea that they made for the third movie. I mean, like I said, not every like adaptation for a certain game, book, or other idea is going to be 100% full. Trust me, they always do that all the time. But always respect the creativity of these guys. If they know what they're doing and they know what they're doing from the heart, because they, just like us, are fans of a certain series, we know that like the Sonic movies are in good hands. Sonic movie 1 and 2, phenomenal. Sonic 3, in my opinion, was just as phenomenal as the other two movies. Sonic 4, it's going to be a masterpiece of a movie. I don't care what anyone says. I already know that they're cooking.
I don't understand how they are able to. Oh, I actually wanted to like talk about something. This is one of the big debates I want to talk to you two about. But it's like, obviously this Sonic 4, I don't know how they're going to outpeak the third one, because I'm not going to lie to you. I know this is a hot topic I just thought of right now, but this is not the big one I want to tell you guys. It's like, I'm sorry, but besides Sonic, Shadow's the only moneymaker. I'm sorry to the Amy fans, Silver fans, the other fans. Like, Shadow is the only other moneymaker. Like, there cannot be another like a spin-off movie about a certain character. It has to be either Shadow or Sonic. That's unfortunately how it works.
I may be the guest, but now I got a question for you, Mr. Hook. What are your like theories for what's going to happen after the fourth movie? Like, who do you think might show up after the fourth movie ends and then the credit scenes roll and another character shows up? Who do you expect is going to show up in the fifth movie? Because obviously we know they're going to make a ton of movies. They're going to make a ton of series. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep cooking.
Yeah. Okay. Can I also? Okay. This is actually the big debate I wanted to ask you two about. Or what are you gonna say? Something, Topdawg?
All right. Topdawg, you there?
Yes. I'm Sonic economy.
Okay. Here's the big debate I want to ask you, David. Here is something I just saw this on Twitter or on X, and I genuinely think this is actually a really valid point. And it's like, someone's worried about how they're going to handle Amy in the movie, because if they do it too similar to Sonic Adventure 2, some people are going to be mad. If they do it similar to Frontiers, people are going to be pissed. If Amy dates Sonic, people are going to be pissed.
I saw that.
If Amy
I saw that post too.
dates Sonic, then people are going to get fucking pissed. It don't matter which one you pick. People are going to get pissed.
Hold on. Let me speak. Hold on. Sorry. I don't mean to be rude. Trust me. I don't want to be rude or anything. I hate something.
This is exactly why I want to talk about it, because here's
what
I think.
Here's what I think. Hold on. Sorry. Trust me. I don't mean to be rude and all that. Let me say this. Y'all are going to get mad because of how they're going to portray Amy and her feelings towards Sonic in the movie. Then all means, please touch grass, because this should not make you upset. You should be happy we're still getting these characters in live action. Every movie, there's always at least a character or two that shows, and you want to get upset over it?
I mean,
calm down. It's not like it's the end of the world. All I gotta say to that is, if y'all are gonna really get upset over that, then please just play the games again. Play all the games, and I promise you might as well change your mind. Sure, she is annoying because she's always following Sonic around. She's always hugging him, touching him, trying to kiss him, trying to force him into marriage, this and that. I get it, but that's Amy's character. That's just how she's like this obsessive girlfriend, yandere in a way. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of similarities, but not only that, she's also extremely powerful. Now, I don't know if you guys have played Sonic Advance, right? But in the game, that's also canon, by the way.
I know what you're talking about. Keep going.
Yeah, she has these rings, right, around her wrist. She takes them off.
They're weights. Yeah, I know.
She drops them. The entire city shakes. She's like, and then Cream is all like, hey, and so she basically is like, wait, and everyone's like, what? So and not only like is she like similar to like yandere's, but they also borrowed some ideas from like Dragon Ball and put it to her. Goku and his weights when he takes.
I know the famous scene where Goku takes off his clothes. I know what you're talking about. Oh,
cinema,
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
This is exactly why, for my Lego series, I'm going to do a completely different adaptation, which it's going to be Amy's really tough with each ring weighs over 500 tons. Like, they're extremely powerful weights, and their hammer weighs exactly the same as the rings. But here's the thing. She is a powerful fighter, and at first, she is kind of addicted to Sonic. But then, after a massive fight between Sonic and Amy, yes, they actually fight in the Lego series. That's when basically Amy stops making fun of him and sees him as an equal. Because for a long time in my series, Amy she's never found a challenge. Like, she's always been way stronger than anyone else, and then Sonic was the first one to actually challenge her. And then she also fell for him after they became friends. Basically, it's slow but steady. So she's powerful. She can get the job done, but she is I'm gonna spoil one thing. Is when later when there's Hatsune Miku summons over 100 evil Sonic variants to go ruin Sonic's name, like the Invincible War. Like, basically, Sonic fights Scourge, and then there's Fleetway Sonic that shows up later in the fight, and Fleetway takes Amy out of the fight, and then Amy's powerful enough to one-shot Fleetway Sonic all on her own in the story. That's how you know she's capable of fighting.
Dang, holy crap, bro. I really like that idea. Like, Amy versus Fleetway Sonic, but this version of Amy is way more powerful than the Amy we're basically used to knowing.
One massive note to know is that with the weights on, she can keep up with Sonic. With the weights off, she is just as fast as him. And she can one-punch people. She can kind of it's like Saitama, but then it's like Sonic's able to literally, tank the one-punch ability. So that's what Amy's confused about. But that's just, I don't want to get too off topic with that's okay. That's my personal adaptation of Amy. A mix of Amy loves Sonic, but she can get fucking shit done on her own. That's what I want to see with Amy.
I like that.
And there is a genuine conflict with like Amy wanting to help Sonic with his battles, but Sonic believing that it should be his battle and his battle alone. Like no help, no backup. Just he has to deal with his own problems, and he refuses to ask for help. That's like the biggest conflict in my opinion. But I'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, so here's what I'm thinking. I feel like Amy should be a mix of both. Mix of she's obsessed with Sonic, and then she gets shit done. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of Amy fans that want Amy to be independent, and there's a lot of fans that want Amy to be with Sonic.
I mean, I think the end of Sonic 3 basically showed that she's basically independent. Like she could take care of herself. And that's like I know.
Go ahead.
If I know a thing or two about like Sonic CD, right?
Yeah,
that's where Amy shows up, right? And in the game, right? She's not like that. She's more of like a lovey-dovey person that's just all upset with Sonic. But yeah, I know that since it's an adaptation of Sonic CD, obviously they're gonna make it where she's a fighter for a reason. She has to survive. Like Metal Sonic is like the biggest threat of the entire Sonic universe. And let's not forget, he can turn into Neo Metal Sonic. He can turn into Overlord.
I know that's you that wants to see Neo Metal Sonic. I know that's you that wants to see him.
Bro. Here's the thing. If he doesn't show up in this movie, please make him show up in the next movie. Along with whoever other character, Silver, like Rude, the Chaotic character. Like,
I see.
Make him
you basically want a Sonic Heroes adaptation, basically.
Yeah. Every single dime in my pocket.
Go ahead, Topdawg. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, Sonic X, like Cosmo, yeah, the plant alien.
Yo, yeah.
Well, the question: how long does this last?
How long does what last?
Like, Cosmo we just very not fucking know her at all. We just fucking. She fucking second don't fucking give a fuck about her. You just die.
Oh, are you saying though about like why she barely like survives in like the Sonic X series, even though she's kind of Tails' love interest?
Oh no, I don't care about Tails' love interest. I care about the characters.
Let's see. Oh yeah, call it? I'm not gonna lie to you. I personally hey David, let me tell you something about Amy. The way I wrote Amy in my Lego series is that I wasn't writing her as some female character. I was writing her as a person, someone who loves someone. But the thing is, they could absolutely handle on their own.
Okay. No, I like that. I still like that idea.
I feel like that's a realistic idea where like Sonic believes that if it's his problem, he should deal with it himself. Like he doesn't want to burden Amy with his problems, even though Amy really, really wants to help Sonic. And yes, she really does love him.
Mm-hmm. And I bet absolute money in the games, like Sonic in a way it is confirmed because in Sonic Frontiers, there are certain scenes that are not actual cutscenes, but there's like certain lines where
Sonic says
he basically shows like concern for Amy now that she's like a cybernetic ghost, worried about her, and he's worried about his friends, and I like that. I really like that. And if you can't get more of that in like the future games, dude, when you only like kind of showed that in like that one game and that one game only, then dude, come on, bro, that's a miss up, Sega. At least step it up a little bit, like Sonic would say. That, and I think I would also, I'm not gonna lie, I know people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I don't care. I think Shadow and Rouge could still be a thing. And the reason why is because she might like those, but around Shadow, I believe, than she is around Knuckles. The only time she's only around Knuckles is when she's trying to steal the master.
I see. Yeah. Okay, can I say something? Okay, I have a theory for Sonic 4's like post-credit scene, but here's an idea I personally have. And it's like basically the aftermath of Sonic 4 after everyone just kind of went their separate ways. Shadow kind of stayed behind while Sonic leaves with his friends with Amy, Knuckles, and and Tails. Shadow just kind of sits alone in like in a very destroyed city, because this is like when they fought Neo Metal Sonic, and then it's like a Shadow shows up, not Shadow, but it's like it says "Stand ready for my arrival," and it's basically Black Doom who shows up. He was like, he pulls up. He's like, I gave you enough time. I gave you time. I gave you orders. I don't see this planet unfit for my arrival, and yet I find this planet it's basically the entire in sequence is inspired by the Invincible versus Conquest encounter.
Basically,
and then Shadow basically gets he's already pissed about Metal Sonic, and it's like, I'm gonna hit something as hard as I can. And then the entire post-credit scene would end with just Shadow and Black Doom flying straight at each other, like fists, like they're ready to square up for a massive fight.
I want your opinion on my Doom voice, if that's okay with you. All right,
go.
Is that all right? All right.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Oh, all right. I was doing it, but hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right. All right, can you hear me?
Not really. Can you do it again?
All right, give me a sec. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? All right. Voice.
I heard it. It was not pretty good, actually.
Pretty good?
Yep.
All right.
But it's like, I know this. I know people are going to be like, but why did Black Doom show up? But it's like, it's supposed to be like Conquest, where like, he's supposed to be the leader of the Black Arms army, and then he sent Shadow to conquer Earth. And it's like, it's unsuited for his arrival, basically. And it's like,
you
Shadow
were given orders.
You were given orders. You were given time. You were
given more leeway than most, and yet I see this planet for the big empire.
And okay. Can I also have an idea for Shadow the Hedgehog? Like this would directly tie to a Shadow spin-off story.
All right.
So the very beginning is basically like Conquest. Like the very beginning, the opening sequence is Shadow versus Black Doom. And basically, Black Doom does actually beat the crap out of Shadow, like Omni-Man. And he's like, I will give you 48 hours to prepare this planet for my arrival. And the thing is, the fight is like a chicken fight, where like they fight from like Green Hills, they fly to like somewhere else, and then the final place is at Mexico. So this explains why there's no other Sonic characters at all in the Shadow spinoff. Is that he's basically all alone in Mexico. In the Shadow the Hedgehog spinoff, in my idea, I want no Rouge, I want no Omega, I want Shadow just to be completely alone in this fight. No help, no backup, nothing. I want him to be completely alone, like Spider-Man and the new Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
And no, he does not call Sonic for help. In fact, I do not want Sonic to actually show up at all in the story.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I know a thing or two about Shadow, right? He never asks Sonic for help. I don't think he's ever done. But not only that,
I asked for Shadow for help, but never the other way around.
Yeah, but here's another thing. I think another idea, and for this, I'm going to have to go if that's okay with you. As I was saying,
like go. What do you mean by that?
Oh, I'm probably going to have to I got to go and finish some stuff up, and then I'm going to go to bed. Sorry about that.
To be fair, the podcast episodes are usually not that long, so it's like. You know, it would have been like 20 more minutes, and then we would have wrapped things up, honestly.
Okay. I'm sorry, dude. Trust me.
But
hey, I can't wait to come back again another day. You know, it was actually pretty fun. And not only that, but I still have so many questions to answer, especially like other like Sonic related questions, or maybe it could be like Marvel related questions. You know?
Okay. Can I have one hot take? You know what's a game I would absolutely love to see for Sonic, and it's not like a particular. Okay. I have a couple things I wanted to ask you. To ask both of you. Two. I have 3 Sonic pitch ideas. I want a Sonic game to genuinely have a crossover with Mario. Like, I'm not talking about the Olympics. I mean a genuine adventure crossover. Like, basically, it takes 2, like, you know, a co-op game, but the 2 characters you play as is either Sonic or Mario. Like, you have to play. One player plays as Mario, and the other one plays as Sonic. and that's team up against a bigger threat.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like with that Mario and the Rabbit collab thing. I think that would be a really great idea.
It's not RPGs. I want it to be like a platformer.
Yeah, like where like there'd be like the 3D levels for like Mario, like something like for Mario 3D Land, and then there'd be like the other stages where like Sonic's just being through the Mushroom Kingdom, or like the forests of the Mushroom Kingdom, or like the Bowser areas of the Mushroom Kingdom. That would also be very sick. Thing with like Mario in like Eggman Land or the Death Egg, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be sick. It'd be like Super Mario Z, but an actual thing, like an official thing, not like its own fan thing, but an actual real thing.
You know what I also would say? Okay, here are my other ideas. Is that I would love for like if they're gonna make the IDW comics canon to the Sonic games, I want to see some of the iconic comic storylines to get adapted for a video game. Like the top two contenders, in my opinion, is the Metal Virus story and the Interjack story. Those are the two comic stories I want to see adapted. If they were
Interjack.
You know, Knuckles becoming Interjack. I want to see Interjack. I want to see that Pacific comic book story getting adapted into a game.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Ken Penders has ownership of Interjack, so that might be a no.
Someone already owns Interjack. I thought Sega owned it, and they just refused to use him.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
I thought that was Scourge that Sega doesn't own him.
Yeah, well, I think Scourge is like, since Scourge is technically Sonic, but he's a Sonic from a different universe. By definition, that belongs to Sega, in my opinion.
But why does it I would love to see Scourge in a Sonic game. That would be awesome.
Oh,
and I'm not talking about the girl who can shoot lightning. I'm talking about the green Sonic with the leather jacket.
It says no, Sega does not own Interjack. The person who it's Ken Penders. Ken Penders owns Interjack. So
I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of I see. That sucks. But as a kid, I absolutely loved the idea of like his best friends becoming his greatest enemies. Like, for example, there was this one comic book that had this one shot of Sonic and Tails fighting each other. I forgot why, but I was like, I would have loved to see like Tails becoming a main villain for Sonic. And it's like, what it reminds me of? It reminds me. Okay, this is a bit of a spoiler for this. Okay, do you know the Invincible comics? Because if you do, but if you don't,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say this. This is a bit of a spoiler for the comics, but later in Invincible, Robot becomes the final villain of the series, and it's like his brilliance is basically what I want Tails to be like. He's basically extremely smart, and I want that to be why he's so dangerous. Like, he's more capable than Eggman ever was, basically. And because he was friends with Sonic, he would know everything about him, including his habits, his weakness, and everything. So it's like, it was the perfect counter, the perfect enemy for Sonic would be Tails. The person he saved from bullying is now becoming his greatest enemy. And same case with Knuckles, being corrupted by the very gem he swore to protect. And Sonic is forced to beat the shit out of him in order to get him back to his senses, basically. That is what I would love to see. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see that more than Eggman. That actually be compelling that would be compelling to play or to just watch a movie adaptation about that.
Like, who knows? Maybe they might have that idea just laying in the shelf, and they are just waiting for the right opportunity to use that idea.
Nine was the closest to executing the idea, but it's it wasn't exactly what I was imagining when I was picturing an actual corrupted evil Tails. I genuinely want someone who genuinely was friends with Sonic for a long, long time. And then as he got older, he started to resent the guy. And then after that, he finally snapped and he was like, enough is enough. I will take matters to my own hands. And let's just say it is not pretty. I'm talking blood is on his hands and everything.
Yeah, that would be sick.
I know a lot of people are gonna fucking bitch about Tails being your antagonist in the comments, but I don't care. That sounds like an amazing idea.
I was surprisingly imagine age 18. That means that these guys to go to the Power Wars.
Yeah, I know, but it's like this is just an idea of like a future Sonic idea. And my biggest nitpick of like the Sonic fan base is that I'm not saying this, everyone's like this, but it's like most of it's like everyone just apparently you can't have a different opinion. Like if I say, "Oh, Sonic Heroes was a great game," no, Sonic Adventure 2 is the best game ever. You that game is stupid. I was like, the fuck? That's called a different opinion. It's like saying Avengers Infinity War was the worst Marvel movie ever created, even though people pretty much like that movie a lot, me included.
Like, yeah, like totally. Like, bro, kid you not. Most people nowadays, as soon as they hear that you have different opinions, they literally get so butthurt. It's like you started World War III, like you and you alone, and that's the reason why they're having to get drafted into the war, even though they don't. Similar to that, like, bro, out and actually go get a life.
I was gonna say like this is exactly why I personally would say that I personally don't feel like I belong in the Sonic community, and I feel like that's fine with me because I am my own person. I have my own opinions. I don't fucking care what anyone thinks. And yes, if you listen to this podcast, are gonna be bitching about anything that we've been talking about Sonic. I don't fucking care. These are just opinions. You know, if you guys have different opinions, that's fine. If you guys don't agree, that's also fine. But bitching about it to be like, no, Sonic Adventure 2 is single-handedly the greatest Sonic game of all time. Listen, I played Sonic Adventure 2. It's a good game, but to me, Unleashed will forever be the superior one. No doubt about it. I'm sorry. Story, and it's like it's grounded, and I feel like the lack of Sonic characters actually adds to the grounded element so much, in my opinion. Like there was no Knuckles, no Shadow. It was just Tails and Amy, and then they both barely had a role, and it was mainly about Sonic and Chip's dynamic. That's what pulled me to the game, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for having me on this podcast. I can't wait to be on the next podcast, man.
All right. Okay, so if you're about to leave, then in that case, I think we're about to wrap things up. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, leave a like and comment if you haven't already. If you want to hear more episodes, stay tuned for the podcast. And I'm your host, Sonic Rob, with my co-host, Topdawg, and my buddy, David. Y'all have a good night, everyone.
Y'all have a great night.
Peace out, everyone.